Hi, this is Tom Snively from tomsnively.com and also from the Making My Own Music podcast, makingmyownmusic.com. I have got a bit of a coding bug and I've started programming things starting around May and kind of video gamey things. I've been learning Unity, which is a game engine that's really, really cool. And I've got Unity up right here. And so I made a game called Match 'em that I have in another video, but I wanted to show this thing, this work in progress called Molecular Music Box. And it's kind of like a music app. Now, it started from me seeing a video on YouTube, and I'll show you the video or, where to see it in just a second, but you can get there by searching for tomsnively.com/mmb-video. I know it's not the shortest URL, but it's something that is potentially rememberable. tomsnively.com/mmb-video. And so this video was made by Dr. Duncan Lockerby, who is a professor in the UK. And he basically talks about a way to compose music using just basically a mathematical pattern. It's a way to compose music without having to, do any of the normal compositional stuff. And it's based on three things here: a note and an initial length and a secondary length. Okay, 4E3. And this song that's playing is 10G 3.5. So in this video is 5 minutes 20 seconds, and he talks about how it actually works. And I decided to write a program to handle this. So I've got a 4E3 button here and a play button, and so now I've got this program that will play 4E3. Actually, the 10G 3.5. This is a button for the one that he was just playing here. And actually, I'm going to speed this up a little bit because 120 beats per minute is kind of slow for that song. And he was playing this as it builds up. So it's a little bit complicated, but basically we're starting at a G and playing it for 10 beats. And then we go to the next note. And this is a graphical representation of the notes that are being played. So this is a G that's being played for 10 beats. Then an A is played for 10 beats. But what happens is it's a 4-measure loop. So now it's going to repeat and go back to this part. So this note will play again. And now here's the third note. So that plays for 10 beats. Then we go and we hit this. Actually, this is the third note. You get the idea. As you go up, first, second, third, fourth, and so on. Now the rule is that when finally we got around to a note that had to land here, because there was already a note played here at 10, we're going to change the length to be 3.5, to be the other length. So we have 10G 3.5. So now this note only plays for 3.5, and then the next note will play here. And now because it was switched to 3.5, it'll be 3.5s again until we land on where another note is. So here is a 10, and so now we're going to switch back to 10. So now we've got here. Now after this one, the next note is here, and so we switch back to 3.5 because there's one already, and then we go 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, and then until we get here. So it's kind of a cool, and so basically as the song goes on, you have higher and higher notes being played. So we've got the little lowest notes that keep repeating in a 4-measure loop. Then we've got a bunch of middle range things, and now we've got all sorts of high things going on. And it is a really cool way to create a song based on just this simple formula. Another song that he talked about in that video is 9C 14.5. So this is building up here. I mean, this works out to be C, E, G, a C major chord, and D, F, A D minor chord. So, it's basically a C chord here for the first half and then a D minor chord for the second half. I mean, it's built to sounds good. And this is one of these things, 9C, 14 and a half, sounds good just because of, well, I don't know. It sounds good because it sounds good, but it's hard to discover. And what he talks about this, we've only got 9s here. We haven't hit the 14 and a half yet. I like this in particular because there's the first 14 and a half. The halves are nice because you get a little bit of rhythmic things going on. So anyway, we've got C, E, G, B, D. We have like a whole C major 9. D, F, A, C, E, a D minor 9. So the thing that he said in his example was that 9C 14 and a half sounds good, but it's a lot nicer than 8C 14 and a half. And I actually have not played this, and I'm going to talk about this in just a second. But here is 8C 14 and a half, so we can see. Now 8 beats, is going to land exactly on that. So we're going to switch to 14 and a half much earlier. So, I mean, that's got a C and an E and an F that sound at the same time. Oh, that's not that bad. That's nice. I don't mind this so far. We'll have to see how it's like. Because of where the notes are, it's going to be 14 and a half for a while. And it's basically just descending a scale there with that extra note in there. That's actually kind of neat. All right, so while that's playing, let me talk about this. The 8C 14 and a half, you can adjust these with these 3 different sliders. And then play and stop. And then these 3 buttons will just set the settings for these 3 songs that were mentioned in the video. So these are the basic settings, and that might be all you need in order to really... Nice, this is nice. I might have forgotten exactly which one he was talking about that's not nice, but we've got this descending scale here, and we're going to have another one here. Now we switched back to 8 because we hit a note there. Ooh, I like it. That's cute. Oh, that's neat. I like the way this is going here with these little descending thirds pattern, and it's going to be another one here. Okay, and we hit the, actually, maybe there. This goes up to basically the highest C on a piano, and then it stops, and it will just repeat from there. So anyway, that's kind of neat. So you can switch these things from a half a beat all the way up to 16. Now I can, adjust this even more. So let me see. If we have just a half a beat, then we'll get something like this. That I'm just my notes don't fade very gracefully. This is definitely an alpha. This is something that I have only been working on for a week or so, but I'm happy with the piano sound. I just gotta fade the notes out better. And when a note is very short, I gotta work on that. But so let's see, 1.5. Yeah, so like when you do 1.5, you can go 3 times up in the loop before you even hit something that repeats. Okay, so then you can also change the starting note. And I put like a 2-octave range here. So you can start all the way down here at a low C. Now when you hit the play button, it will reset all of this. And you can adjust many of these settings during the while it's playing, and it doesn't make any difference. And then this would be the highest one here. These it's kind of designed for me to be able to put some music staffs in here, and you'd be able to see where the notes are. This was just my first attempt at, as the notes are higher, they're higher up on the screen, and then the loop length here, if it's 4 beats or whatever, is here. One thing that I was going to do, and I can probably add this soon, was I'm going to. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I was going to maybe try to highlight down here what beat you're on so you can try to understand better that we're, looping along here. Okay, so you get the idea of that. Now, I've got some advanced things here. I've been moving around with the tempo. And, a lot of these ones with the longer notes takes more, it takes time for this to develop into something, but it also just takes a long time for the song to, because the notes are so long. So I made a slider of tempo that goes from 60 to 300. Now, this is something that if you adjust it while the song is playing, it does some weird stuff. And it's just because of the way it was programmed. So I might want to disable that so you can't mess it up. Now, this is interesting, too. Here, let me go back to 4E3. And the video is designed, this whole system is to play only the white notes on the piano, the notes from, C to C, with no accidentals. But, it's easy programmically, in a program way, to do this, to make this in a different key now. It's pretty nice too. I should keep a record of all the things I've played so that I'm making a video, so I'll have those records. So the key is kind of cool, and you can also, you can play a song. Now, the E is in the key of F. So there I've got a little tritone, and it's low, and it's a little ugly. So you can definitely make some ugly sounding things, but you can also pick a key that doesn't even have that note. So like this D sharp, E flat doesn't have an E in it. And, it's the kind of thing where you can totally make some very weird things. So we're starting off with a bit of a whole tone scale here. It's got something that sounds pretty in it, but it starts off with some pretty weird dissonances. Now, loop length here is this 16-beat thing. Now, I want to show you might get confused in this is August 1st, so this is pretty new. I'm not, that far into it. But whenever you've got either of these notes that has a... I'm still hearing E flat. So this is C minor. That's actually pretty interesting. I never played around with minor yet. Pretty neat. So 32 beats is, because I've got 1 and 2 and 3 and programmatically it was much easier to just pretend that there's 32 beats and make them twice as fast. But instead of 30, I can like mess things up even more, make it 30. The reason why 9 and 10 are neat because the things don't line up exactly evenly. And you can do the same thing by, changing the loop length. So now this next note is going to come in a different spot. In fact, maybe let me just try this. I can go back to 8 so that it's more even, but it's in a non-even number of beats in the loop. That's pretty cool. C minor 7, D half diminished 7, C minor 9. It seems like it's even almost playable for a good piano player. That's pretty cool. So actually, when I, got this going, what I decided that I wanted to do was to, just discover songs that I like. And, this is really nice. I have not played around with many of these things. I haven't played around with the minor ones. And, when I'm completely satisfied with things like how I'm getting my notes to shut off properly and everything, I can record the audio of this and, I can then, process it. I could master it and potentially publish songs like this. And it even occurred to me that I could just make an album of molecular music box songs like this. So that's really neat. And I would probably start off from the beginning and let it run through, and then after it gets to the highest note and it loops maybe 2 or 3 times, then I would fade it and have the song end then. So if you want to play around with this, I'll have a link in the YouTube that points over to where I've got this, or you can go to tomsnively.com and then you go to the credits page. So the credits page is, listing the games that I've got music in or sounds and the programs that I've written. So Molecular Music Box is on there. Now I may try to, for my projects, I might change a name. Instead of calling it Molecular Music Box, just something else with some kind of music box or something else. But I hope you find this interesting. We talked about all these things, right? Yeah, this is talking about where we are in the loop and stuff. This interface with it's all blue. This is just a default Unity system. So, I'm pretty good with computers and I'm pretty good with the music, but I am not great with art. So if anybody wants to help out with the layout in terms of the colors and the buttons and the interface, like this advanced stuff is advanced. So what I want to do is to have it be, have an advanced button, but not show this stuff so that people don't go overwhelmed with how many options there are over here. This is the kind of thing that, I potentially could turn into like an iPad app. And, could also work on a phone. All these numbers or whatever I end up with, could fit on an iPhone screen. But, I might have like these settings on the left would be visible. And then as soon as you hit play, then it would all disappear. And you'd be able to see this and then maybe a stop button or whatever. Anyway, I'm pretty excited about this project. I wanted to share this with everybody, and I'd love to hear your feedback. You can email. It's Tom at makingmyownmusic.com, and or you can comment on YouTube or wherever else you saw this, if it was Twitter or Facebook. So let me know what you think.